Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Naresh Mago and with me is R.S. Raghu with the evening news. The headlines. Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh resigns after Bombay High Court directs CBI to conduct preliminary inquiry into corruption allegations levelled against him. All arrangements in place for tomorrow's assembly elections in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry, Assam and West Bengal. Home Minister Amit Shah says fight against Naxals will be intensified, pays respect to martyred security personnel in Chhattisgarh. Health Minister Harshvardhan launches Integrated Health Information Platform. India becomes first country to adopt such an advanced disease surveillance system. Special campaign for ensuring COVID-appropriate behavior to be organized from tomorrow. India's cumulative vaccination coverage nears 8 crore mark. Delhi government increases operational time of COVID-19 vaccination centers in the city from tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with students, teachers and parents through Pariksha Pe Charcha on 7th April. And in football, Indian women's team loses to Uzbekistan 0-1 in international friendly match in Tashkent. As the number of COVID cases is on the rise again, we appeal to our listeners not to lower the guard, follow all the precautions, and all those above 45 years to get vaccinated without any hesitation. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh today tendered his resignation to Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray. The development came shortly after the Bombay High Court today directed the CBI to conduct a preliminary inquiry into corruption allegations levelled against him by former Mumbai Police Commissioner Parambir Singh. The order was passed on the public interest litigation filed by Advocate Dr. Jayashree Patil. Parambir Singh had written a letter to the Chief Minister and levelled some allegations against the Home Minister. The Bombay High Court bench, headed by Chief Justice Dipankar Datta, said that the preliminary probe should be completed in 15 days and later CBI can decide on the future course of action. The court added that since the state has already taken steps for a probe by a high-level committee into the matter, the CBI need not immediately register an FIR in the case. Deshmukh, in his resignation letter sent to the Chief Minister, said that he is resigning on moral grounds. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Thackeray sent a letter to Governor Bhagat Singh Koshyari requesting him to accept the resignation of Home Minister Anil Deshmukh. In the letter, the Chief Minister also said that Dilip Walse Patil should be given charge of the Home Department. The letter also requested that Dilip Walse Patil's Labour Department charge be given to Hassan Mushrif as additional charge, and State Excise Department to be handed over to Deputy CM and Finance Minister Ajit Pawar. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
In his resignation letter to Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, Home Minister Anil Deshmukh said that he does not find it morally correct to continue as the Home Minister after Bombay High Court's order. Earlier today, speaking to media persons, State Minister and NCP spokesperson Nawab Malik said that Deshmukh informed NCP Chief Sharad Pawar that it won't be appropriate to remain in the post as CBI will be probing the charges against him. Malik added that Deshmukh has submitted his resignation to CM Thackeray. Meanwhile, several opposition leaders have expressed their views after Home Minister Anil Deshmukh tendered his resignation. Welcoming the decision, BJP leaders Chandrakant Patil, Devendra Fadnavis and Praveen Darekar said that Deshmukh should have resigned earlier. The opposition leaders also questioned Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray's silence on the issue. Sweety Jain, AR News, Mumbai.
Meanwhile, BJP has attacked the Maharashtra Chief Minister following the resignation of State Home Minister Anil Deshmukh, saying that Uddhav Thackeray has lost the moral authority to govern. Briefing media in New Delhi, senior BJP leader and Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad questioned Mr. Thackeray's silence in the matter. He said there may be a lot of linkages in this corruption case and all the ramifications of this issue should be investigated fairly and those involved must be brought to book. He also raised suspended police officer Sachin Waze's case and said NIA is making revelations every day in the case. Targeting the Shiva Sena, Mr. Prasad alleged that Waze's link points to a conspiracy of corruption.
NIA सचिन वाजे की कहानी की परत दर परत रोज निकाल रही है। अभी तक कितनी गाड़ियां पकड़ी गई, उनकी लग्जरी गाड़ियां, रोज नई गाड़ियां मिलती हैं जो उपयोग कर रहे हैं। एनआईए ने गोताखोरों को मीठी नदी में कुदवाया तो कितनी चीजें निकल गई। तो सचिन वाजे की कहानी कहां तक जाएगी तो एनआईए बताएगी।
Vazay is currently in NIA custody for his alleged role in planting an explosive-laden vehicle near industrialist Mukesh Ambani's house in Mumbai.
In the poll-bound states of Assam and West Bengal, all the necessary preparations have been made for the third phase polling of assembly elections tomorrow. Polling begins tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Polling for the single-phase assembly elections in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, as well as the Union Territory of Puducherry, along with Lok Sabha by-polls for Kanyakumari seat in Tamil Nadu and Malappuram seat in Kerala, will also be held simultaneously. The Election Commission has decided to use voter verifiable paper audit trail VVPAT along with electronic voting machine EVM at every polling station, with a view to enhance the transparency and credibility of the election process, as VVPAT allows the voter to verify his or her vote. The arrangements have already been made to ensure availability of adequate number of EVMs and VVPATs for the smooth conduct of elections. In view of the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic, the Election Commission has decided to allow maximum 1,000 electors in a polling station instead of earlier stipulation of 1,500 electors. Option of postal ballot facility has been extended to the electors who are COVID-19 positive or suspect as certified by competent authority and are in home or institutional quarantine, along with those marked as persons with disability PWD and above the age of 80 years. It will be ensured that every polling station is equipped with assured minimum facilities AMF like drinking water, waiting shed, toilet with water facility, adequate arrangements for lighting, ramp of appropriate gradient for the persons with disabilities. The special facilities will include mandatory sanitization of polling station, thermal checking of voters at entry point either by polling staff or paramedical staff or an ASHA worker. If temperature is above the set norms of Health Ministry, then the elector will be provided with token and asked to come for voting at the last hour of the poll. At the last hour of poll, such electors will be facilitated for voting strictly following COVID-19 related preventive measures. In Assam, 337 candidates, including 25 women, are in fray for the 40 assembly constituencies spread over 12 districts going to polls on Tuesday during the third and final phase. Total 11,401 polling stations have been set up for this purpose. There are three main alliances, including the BJP-led National Democratic Alliance with partners Assam Gana Parishad AGP and the United People's Party Liberal UPPL, and Mahajot or Grand Alliance led by the Congress. It includes All India United Democratic Front AIUDF, Bodoland People's Front BPF and the left parties, while yet another conglomerate of Assam Jatiya Party AJP and Raijor Dal is also there. Congress has fielded 21 candidates, AJP has 20, BJP 18, AGP 12, AIDUF 11 and BPF has 7 candidates, while independents and others are also trying their luck. More from our Guwahati correspondent.
All arrangements have been put in place in Assam to ensure free, fair and safe polling tomorrow. All COVID protocols, including wearing of masks and thermal screening, will be followed in all the polling booths. Several high-profile candidates are in the fray in the third and final phase of polls tomorrow. State BJP President Ranjit Kumar Das will contest from Pata Sargusi seat against the working president of Assam Jatiya Parishad, Govinda Deka, and Congress leader Shantanu Sharma. Senior ministers and BJP leaders Chandra Mohan Patwari, Himanta Biswa Sharma, Siddharth Bhattacharya, and two BPF ministers, Promila Rani Brahma and Chandan Brahma, are also in the contest. Senior Assam Gana Parishad leader and minister Fani Bhushan Chaudhary would contest in the Bongaigaon seat for a record 8 times. Apart from that, several leaders of Congress and AIUDF are also in the fray in the third and final phase tomorrow. Manas Pradim Sharma, AR News, Guwahati.
In West Bengal, 205 candidates, including 13 women, are vying for 31 seats in 3 districts during the third phase. The state is witnessing 8-phase elections. A total of 8,480 polling stations have been set up for this purpose. Bharatiya Janata Party and ruling AITC are contesting from all the 31 seats, while Congress, left parties and their alliance partner Indian Secular Front are fighting under the banner of Sanjukta Morcha. CPIM and BSP have fielded 13 candidates each, ISF 8, Congress 7, AIFB 2 and RSP 1, while there are 68 independents along with 32 others also in the fray. The prominent leaders contesting in this phase include three ministers, Dr. Nirmal Manji from Uluberia Uttar, Ashima Patra from Dhanekhali and Giyasuddin from Magrahat Paschim, along with Assembly Speaker Biman Banerjee contesting from Baruipur Paschim. Cine star Tanushri Chakraborty from Shampur and Papia Adhikari from Uluberia Dakshin are also trying their luck, while journalist turned politician Swapan Das Gupta is in the fray from Tarakeshwar seat. More from our correspondent from Tarakeshwar.
Election Commission has said VVPAT machines will be used in all 10,871 polling booths which will go to the polls tomorrow. Special arrangements have been made to bring electorate of 80 years and above and people with disability to polling booths. There are 1,26,000 voters of 80 years and above age, and on the other hand, over 64,000 PWD voters are eligible to exercise their right of franchise. Polling would begin at 7 a.m. morning and it will conclude in 6:30 p.m. evening. Several model polling stations have been set up to encourage voters to exercise their right of franchise. Dharmendra Kumar Rai, AIR News, Tarakeshwar, Hooghly.
In Kerala, 957 candidates, including 123 women and one-third gender person, are vying for the 140 assembly seats spread over 14 districts in the single-phase election. Apart from the CPIM-led Left Democratic Front and Congress-led United Democratic Front, the BJP-led National Democratic Alliance is trying to make a big headway in the state this time. Among the major parties, CPIM has fielded 86, CPI has 25 candidates, while Congress has 93, and its alliance partner Indian Union Muslim League has 27 candidates in the fray. The BJP has fielded 113 candidates along with 21 candidates from alliance partner Bharat Dharma Jana Sena. The prominent candidates in the state include the incumbent Chief Minister and CPIM candidate Pinarayi Vijayan from Dharmadam seat, State Minister K.K. Shailaja from Mattanur, Metro Man and BJP candidate E. Sridharan from Palakkad, and State Unit President K. Surendran contesting from both Manjeshwaram and Koni. Former CM Oomen Chandi from Puttupalli, Leader of Opposition and Congress leader Ramesh Chennithala from Haripad, and Indian Union Muslim League National General Secretary and former MP P.K. Kunalikutty is also in the fray from Vengara. Our Thiruvananthapuram correspondent reports.
Distribution of polling materials completed in all the 40,771 polling booths in the state. 957 candidates are contesting in the 140 constituencies of Kerala. The Lok Sabha by-poll in Malappuram will also be held tomorrow, in which 6 candidates are in the fray. Voting will be held from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. tomorrow in 131 constituencies, and in the rest of the 9 Naxal-affected constituencies, polling will be concluding at 6 in the evening. The assembly polls and the Lok Sabha by-poll will be held adhering to strict COVID protocol. The last hour of the polling is reserved for COVID patients. Thermal screening will be conducted in all voters, and those with high temperatures will only be allowed to cast their vote in the last hour of polling. Masks, sanitizers and social distancing is compulsory. Gloves will be provided at the polling booths. Health Department had urged everyone to strictly follow the COVID guidelines. Tight security is deployed in all the polling booths across the state with additional special forces in sensitive booths. Mayush Shah for AIR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
In Tamil Nadu, a total 3,998 candidates, including 411 women and 2 third-gender persons, are vying for the 234 assembly seats spread over 37 districts during the single phase. Total 88,936 polling stations have been set up for this purpose. The state is likely to witness multi-cornered contests this time. There are 2 major alliances, the ruling AIADMK-BJP alliance and the coalition of the DMK and Congress. In addition, active political Kamal Hassan's Makkal Needi Mayyam MNM and the newly forged alliance between TTV, Dinagaran's Amma Makkal Munnetra Kalagam AMMK and Asaduddin's Owaisi's All India Majlis-e-Ittehadul Musallamin AIMIM are also trying to make big inroads into the state politics. AIADMK has fielded 179 and DMK has 173 candidates while AMMK has 161. MNM 145, BSP 65, Pudhiya Tamilagam and DMDK 60 each. Congress 25, PMK 23 and the BJP has 20 candidates in the fray. The prominent contestants include Chief Minister and AIADMK Coordinator Edapadi Palaniswamy from Edapadi seat, another Coordinator O. Pannirselvam from Bodiganayanur, DMK President M.K. Stalin from Kolattur, Party General Secretary Durai Murugan from Katpadi, PMK President G.K. Mani, BJP State President L. Murugan from Dharmapuram, former Secretary H. Raja from Karikudi and Women's Wing President Vanadi Srinivasan, who is facing actor and MNM founder Kamal Hassan from Coimbatore South. AMMK founder TTV Dinakaran from Kovilpatti, DMDK Treasurer Premlata Vijaykumar from Virudachalam, along with actress and BJP candidate Khushbu from Thousand Lights, Chennai, are also in the fray. Our Chennai correspondent has filed this report.
Polling officials, unmindful of all difficulties, reached to the farthest corner of the state for the poll duty. Polling staffs could be seen carrying EVM and VVPAT machine in far-off villages. 158,000 security personnel will maintain law and order in the polling booths. Polling will begin at 7 in the morning and will close at 7 in the evening. Voters have been instructed to follow COVID regulations strictly. 1 hour extension was given for the COVID-positive voters who will cast their votes from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Every booth will also have face masks, gloves and 12 PPE kits to enable the COVID voters to exercise their franchise. District election officers are busy in making foolproof arrangements for successful polling. Poll authorities also have to ensure basic amenities for all voters. Counting of votes will take place on May 2nd. With Joy R. Murthy, AR News, Chennai.
Besides, the Lok Sabha by-polls will be conducted simultaneously for Kanyakumari seat in Tamil Nadu, where there will be 12 candidates in the fray, and also for Malappuram seat in Kerala, where 6 candidates will be taking part in the electoral battle. In the Union Territory of Puducherry, 324 candidates, including 35 women, are vying for 30 seats in 4 districts during the single-phase. Nam Tamilar Kachchi has fielded 28 candidates and DMDK has 26. AMMK 25, MNM 22, DMK 13, Congress 14, while NR Congress has given tickets to 16. BSP 11 and BJP has put up 9 candidates in the fray. The main contestants include former Chief Minister and NR Congress President N. Rangaswamy from Tattanjavadi seat. Former ministers are Kamalakannan from Tirunallar and N. Kandaswamy from Imbadam, along with former Chief Ministerial candidate of Congress and now a BJP candidate Namachivayam from Mannadipet. BJP Unit President Swaminathan is contesting from Lawspet, while DMK Puducherry President R. Siva is participating from Villanallur. Our Puducherry correspondent has filed this report.
289 male and 35 women candidates are contesting in the election. 10,04,507 voters will decide the electoral fortune of these 324 candidates in the fray. The voters have to produce either EPIC or any of the 11 alternative documents prescribed by the Election Commission of India at the time of voting. 31,864 first-time voters in the age group of 18 to 19 years are eagerly waiting to exercise their franchise. 1,558 polling stations have been set up in 635 locations in the Union Territory. Considering the COVID-19 pandemic threat, COVID protocols will be strictly followed inside and outside the polling booths. All the AVMs and other arrangements are already put in place. Security beefed up across the UT. 6,835 polling staffs, 4,811 security personnel, along with the 40 companies of CRPF have been deployed. Chandra Mohan, AR News, Puducherry.
BJP today approached Election Commission over West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's remarks urging a particular community to vote for TMC. The party has termed her remarks as violation of Representation of People's Act and demanded lodging of an FIR against her. A BJP delegation led by senior party leader and Union Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi met the commission in New Delhi over the issue. Talking to reporters after the meeting, Mr. Naqvi alleged that Ms. Banerjee is not only threatening voters of the state but also the paramilitary forces who are there to ensure free and fair polls. He demanded the commission to increase the central forces in the state. The BJP also raised with the Commission DMK leader M.K. Stalin's comments against Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Mr. Naqvi said BJP has sought action in the matter. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh resigns after Bombay High Court directs CBI to conduct preliminary inquiry into corruption allegations levelled against him. All arrangements in place for tomorrow's assembly election in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry, Assam and West Bengal. Home Minister Amit Shah says fight against Naxals will be intensified, pays respect to martyred security personnel in Chhattisgarh. Health Minister Harshvardhan launches Integrated Health Information Platform. India becomes first country to adopt such an advanced disease surveillance system. Special campaign for ensuring COVID-appropriate behavior to be organized from tomorrow. India's cumulative vaccination coverage nears 8 crore mark. Delhi government increases operational time of COVID-19 vaccination centers in the city from tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with students, teachers and parents through Pariksha Pe Charcha on 7th April. And in football, India women's team loses to Uzbekistan in international friendly match 0-1 in Tashkent. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
The Home Minister has asserted that the fight against Naxals will be intensified and it will be taken to a logical end. He was talking to media persons in Jagdalpur after holding a high-level meeting along with Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel today.
नक्सलियों के खिलाफ लड़ाई निर्णायक मोड़ पर पहुंची है और इस दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना ने इसको और आगे बढ़ाने का काम किया है. हम 2 मकाम और आगे बढ़े. छत्तीसगढ़ शासन के मुख्यमंत्री बघेल जी के साथ सभी फोर्स के अफसरों के साथ अभी रिव्यू मीटिंग हुई की और रिव्यू मीटिंग के अंदर ये लड़ाई की गति किसी भी तरह से कम न हो, ये सुझाव अफसरों की ओर से ही आए, जो बताता है कि हमारे जवानों का मॉरल अभी भी इंटैक्ट है और आगे बढ़ा है. और मैं देश को विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं कि लड़ाई रुकेगी नहीं और गति के साथ आगे बढ़ेगी और इसको हम अंजाम तक ले जाएंगे.
The meeting was held to review the security situation in the state after the Maoist attack in the Bastar region on Saturday. The Home Minister said centre as well as the state government will speed up the development work in tribal areas as well as intensify the operations against the Maoists. Mr. Shah, along with Chhattisgarh Chief Minister, paid respects to the martyred security personnel in Jagdalpur, the divisional headquarters of Bastar. More from our Raipur correspondent.
During his day-long visit to Chhattisgarh, Union Home Minister Amit Shah met the Jawans at the Basagoda CRPF camp in Bijapur district who fought with the Maoists in an encounter on Saturday. The camp is near to the site where the Maoist ambush took place on 3rd April. In this encounter, 23 Jawans of the security forces were martyred. The Union Home Minister met the Jawans of CRPF and police force at the camp and boosted up their morale. He also had lunch with the Jawans. Earlier, the Union Home Minister paid respect to the martyred Jawans in the Jagdalpur police line. Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel was also present on the occasion. In the last leg of his Chhattisgarh visit, Union Home Minister reached capital Raipur and met the injured Jawan admitted in various hospitals. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
The Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan virtually launched the Integrated Health Information Platform in New Delhi today. The Integrated Health Information Platform is the next generation highly refined version of the presently used Integrated Disease Surveillance Program. Dr. Harshvardhan stated that India is the first country in the world to adopt such an advanced disease surveillance system. He said this day shall be written in golden letters as a day that marks a milestone in the history of disease surveillance. He elaborated on the timely need for the software platform. The new version will house the data entry and management for India's disease surveillance program. In addition to tracking 33 diseases now as compared to the earlier 18, it shall ensure near real-time data in digital mode. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold a meeting with the Chief Ministers of all states and union territories through video conferencing on Thursday to take stock of the COVID-19 situation in view of the massive surge in cases in the country. During the meeting, Mr. Modi will also discuss with the Chief Ministers vaccination-related issues.
A special campaign for COVID-19 appropriate behavior will be launched tomorrow. It will emphasize on 100% mask usage, personal hygiene and sanitation at public places, workplaces and health facilities. The special campaign will be organized till 14th of this month. In the high-level meeting chaired by Prime Minister yesterday, Mr. Modi emphasized that awareness of the community and its involvement is paramount for sustainable COVID-19 management. In a presentation made during the meeting, it was highlighted that there is an alarming rate of growth of COVID-19 cases and deaths in the country. Our correspondent has filed this report.
Some of the main reasons for the rapid rise in COVID cases can be attributed to the severe decline in compliance of COVID-appropriate behavior, primarily in terms of use of masks and maintaining 2 gaj ki duri. Therefore, government is launching this special campaign to emphasize the need for COVID-appropriate behavior in the coming days. For sustainable COVID-19 management, awareness and involvement of the community are paramount. There is a need to continue public participation and public movement for COVID-19 management. The five-fold strategy of testing, tracing, treatment, COVID-appropriate behavior and vaccination would be effective in curbing the spread of the pandemic. With Anupam Mishra, Suparna Sejya, IR News, Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with the students, teachers and parents during Pariksha Pe Charcha 2021 at 7 p.m. on the 7th of this month. This will be the first edition of this mega event, which will be held in a virtual mode due to the restrictions posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. During the Pariksha Pe Charcha program, the Prime Minister will share ideas and suggestions to prepare and appear in exams without taking any stress. In a tweet today, Mr. Modi said, memorable discussion will be held with the exam warriors, parents and teachers in a new format, having several interesting questions on a wide range of subjects. India's cumulative vaccination coverage is nearing the 8 crore mark. Over 7 crore 91 lakh 5,000 doses of COVID vaccine have been administered in the country so far. The Union Health Ministry has said that more than 16 lakh 38,000 doses were given to the beneficiaries in the last 24 hours. The Delhi government has increased the operational time of COVID-19 vaccination centers in the city from tomorrow. 1/3 of these centers in the national capital will be operational round the clock. Earlier, all vaccination centers in the city used to work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Now 1/3 of them will remain open from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. Delhi Health Department has issued an order in this regard, saying the decision has been taken to accelerate the pace of COVID vaccination. In women's football, Uzbekistan defeated India 1-0 in an international friendly match played at Al Malik in Tashkent as part of its preparations for the 2022 AFC Women's Asian Cup. India's next match is scheduled on the 8th of this month against Belarus.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi is likely to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. Chennai to have partly cloudy sky, and in Kolkata the sky will be mainly clear. Jammu will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Leh will witness generally cloudy sky with light rain. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will hover between 7 and 15 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The temperature will be between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh resigns after Bombay High Court directs CBI to conduct preliminary inquiry into corruption allegations levelled against him. All arrangements in place for tomorrow's assembly elections in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry, Assam and West Bengal. Home Minister Amit Shah says fight against Naxals will be intensified, pays respect to martyred security personnel in Chhattisgarh. Health Minister Harshvardhan launches Integrated Health Information Platform. India becomes the first country to adopt such an advanced disease surveillance system. Special campaign for ensuring COVID-appropriate behavior to be organized from tomorrow. India's cumulative vaccination coverage nears 8 crore mark. Delhi government increases operational time of COVID-19 vaccination centers in the city from tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with the students, teachers and parents through Pariksha Pe Charcha on 7th April. And in football, Indian women's team loses to Uzbekistan 0-1 in international friendly match in Tashkent. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.